So Alabama A&M, clearly I thought it was our most complete game of the year. The emphasis that the guys had going into the game was, I know our guys can be physical, but sometimes we're not where we need to be with regards to our discipline and poise. We're not where we need to be. We have a concept called combat mindset, and it's at a particular point in time, just frankly, as if you were in combat. Your intensity with regard to focus and concentration has to be off the charts. You have to be in a zone. In true combat, you got to be in that zone for a long period of time. In a football game, you've got to be in that zone for a matter of seconds. For a quarterback, that might be 10, 12 seconds, maybe 13, 14, 15 seconds. For a receiver, maybe that's 5 seconds. For a defensive player, maybe 2, 3 seconds before the snap, and certainly during the snap. And there's a combat mindset, which is an intense focus on what your responsibility is at that particular point in time. The ball's on its way to you. You have a shot at an interception. You have a shot to be able to make a catch, a punt returner, a kickoff returner. The guys can catch. Why wouldn't you make the interception? For some reason, there's a lack of intensity and focus at the very, very end of the play for some reason. So they were the things we talked about over the span of the week, and I think it was our best game with regard to that to date. From an offensive perspective, I think we were inside the red zone. I think we were in what we call strike mode for our purposes inside the red zone. I thought it was 8 times. We had 1 turnover, but no penalties. And other than the turnover, we scored touchdowns every time. So we were something like 7 for 8, and we threw an interception. We know we can't do that. But prior to that, what we had been doing is 1 penalty after another, and every one of those prevented us from scoring. So I thought the offense was as sharp. I thought we were able to move the ball both on the ground and in the air. I thought the offense was as sharp, and I'm especially pleased with what they did in the red zone. From a defensive perspective, it was truly, I think, a time where the entire defense truly came together. We did an effective job versus the run, an effective job versus the pass. We had fewer busts than we've had in the past. I thought our tackling was pretty good, and I think our poise and discipline was pretty good. Special teams, I think, continues to have an outstanding season. Across the board, special teams were outstanding, and they have been all season. Our special teams are playing at the championship level, and we're certainly proud of that. The other thing that I felt really good about was pretty much the entire second half, we were able to give an awful lot of guys a lot of work. And I thought those guys, for the most part, literally wound up playing well. We had more mistakes with some of our second and third unit guys in the second half than we did with our first unit, as you might expect. But we give our second and third unit guys, frankly, a lot of work. We don't expect them to have a whole lot of mistakes. And we had some breakdowns, but for the most part, I think the team played well in the second half. So across the board, I think it was our best outing of the year. I think first going forward, what we need to do, we need to continue to compound and build upon the concept of poise and discipline and combat mindset. So we really start to appreciate what that means, and that'll differentiate us as a football team. So one of the things we talked a little bit about the other day is that, you know, over the span of now we're approaching the second half of the season. As we approach the second half of the second half, Coastal Carolina 2015 football team has to become a better team than what the first half was. And poise and discipline and combat mindset will get us there. So I was proud of our guys, I was proud of our effort. Certainly for our school, it was a 100th victory. You know, we as a program are certainly proud to have been the team to deliver on that. That was a great landmark. I said this in my press conference and on Saturday, and I want to say it again. The 100th victory is not unique to us. We were the ones delivered on that, but 100th victory is not unique to us. That's a history of the program. So for any coach, any player that has ever been part of Coastal Carolina, that's part of their legacy. And that 100th victory is truly a university legacy and a university achievement. And I know our university is proud of that. And for anybody that's been associated with Coastal Carolina football, they can take pride in that as well because they had something to do with that. That's it on Alabama A&M. 2 weeks ago, you asked about Yogi Berra. I prepared all week. I told Yogi Berra still last week, and you guys didn't have that on air, did you? That's a little disappointing. After you told me to work on it, I spent 2 weeks, I did my research, I came in and get my best Yogi Berra story, and you guys don't even have it. You guys gave me the assignment to do it. I'm just kind of a little disappointed in that.
I think we actually...
So no more assignments unless you're gonna like take them seriously.
I think we aired it, the first thing you said. Not here, but the first thing you said. So. at the call-in show. Anyway, we aired something.
Okay,
So,
good enough. Very good.
just to take care of the other guys.
Okay,
We
good enough.
something aired on 100.3.
Okay, good enough. Any questions about A&M? Okay, with regard to Presbyterian, I really do have a lot of respect for Hal Nichols, their head coach, and the job that he has done. I think last year there was a tremendous improvement in their overall play and their overall program. I think they were a team to be reckoned with. It kind of seems, if you look at the stats, that they've gotten off to a slow start, but I would suggest the following, that they're 1-4, but they played 2 FBS schools, and they weren't embarrassed by either one of those FBS schools, and they played Chattanooga, which is the number 8th FCS team in the country. It's not easy to be the number 8 team in the country, and they played them tough. They certainly beat the division. They beat Campbell, and they lost to Western Carolina. But that's 2 FBS schools that they played respectable, and the number 8 team in the country that they played respectable. So I think they're better than what their record indicates. I think from a defensive perspective, they got the number 1 tackler in the league. I think they have the number 6 tackler in the league. I think they have a guy that leads the league. I think they may have a guy that leads the league in sacks, but they've been a little bit inconsistent. I think they're sound with regards to what they do on offense. I think they're sound with what they do on defense. They are physical, and I think they've been sound with regards to what they do on special teams. But I think they're a well-coached team. And again, I have no doubt coming here to play us, league game, everything counts, everything really matters. They're going to be ready to go.
Offensively, what stands out? Any players that stand out to you there?
I think they're playing 2 guys. They have a senior quarterback, and he's certainly the guy that gets the majority of the work. They have the freshman comes in that gets playing time pretty much every game, and I think he'll probably be their guy, certainly in the future. I think if you give the senior an opportunity to run, he can take advantage of that. If you give him the opportunity to throw, he can take advantage of that. If you put pressure on him, he's going to have to get rid of the ball early, but we've got to be able to do that. I think their running back's been averaging over 100 yards a game, and I think he's kind of their workhorse. They have a variety of receivers, all are solid, but not one guy that they necessarily go to. If you give the quarterback time, he can hurt you. We need to be able to put some pressure on him. And I think their running back is a solid guy who's a solid workhorse and winds up doing a good job. We've got to make sure we're tackling him and playing good defense.
I see Marcus Williamson's listed as a starter this week. Is that due to injuries or just he's earned that spot?
Yes, no, it's due. He's been seeing playing time all along. He's been doing a very, very good job for us, and he gets action every week. Aaron McFarland has a sprained AC, and Aaron will be out. Aaron will be out for the game, so Marcus is taking his place.
Is Calvin getting closer to coming back, or is
Calvin, he's starting to move around a little bit more now. He's in a red jersey in practice. He's starting going through drills. He'd be questionable as far as the game goes.
Overall, you guys ready for the bye week? Get some time to heal and rest?
We're not ready for the bye week yet. We got to get through this week. Then after that, we'll be ready for the bye week. And I go over the schedule with the guys every Thursday, so I'm still in the process of kind of putting that together. I want to think about what we want to do the following week, but when the bye week comes, it'd be nice to get a little bit of a break. But right now, I hope nobody's looking forward to the bye week.
That 3 straight at home, have you liked the atmosphere from the fans this year? Maybe
It's been spectacular. Yeah, I'm sorry, John, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, have you noticed it being more intense, more?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's been great. I think our guys are aware of that. I think our guys have actually said to the student body, we appreciate what you've been doing. We certainly were appreciative of that, even though many people didn't go to the game because of the weather over the weekend. We still were sold out, and we expected standing room only. Frankly, we expected a bigger crowd than we had the previous couple of weeks, and we were standing room only the previous couple of weeks. So I think we've been getting great support at home. We're delighted with that, and we're looking forward. We're hopeful that that'll continue over the span of the season.
Were you pleased with how the turf handled the rain?
I thought it was spectacular. I asked the guys that, but with all the rain we had gotten, we did not practice on Sunday. We did not practice on Monday, but the field was, we practiced yesterday, and we had plenty of rain, and the field was in great shape, and I thought the field was in great shape on Sunday. Surf Turf came along at a nice time here, because, you know, it would have been tough to play it, we would have played on it, but it would have been tough to play on it, but regular, the normal, the old grass field.
You mentioned special teams again. Where did your priority for special teams originate? Who influenced you to kind of put as much time into it as you do?
You know, every coach in the country says it's important to be special teams, and certainly as a head high school coach, says it's important to be special teams. But I probably paid, you know, we worked on it all the time, but we probably, like most coaches do, tend to pay lip service to it. And it wasn't until I was at Lafayette where I was coaching the secondary, and then they made me a secondary and special teams coordinator, or at least defensive special teams coordinator. And that was my job, and I took it just intensely seriously. And our defense that year was 5-3-2. We blocked 13 kicks in 10 games. That set a national record. The impact that our special teams had was just so incredible that when I became the defensive coordinator at Dartmouth, I had that same responsibility in special teams. I took that with me, and the difference it made in wins and losses, and our effectiveness and our field position was humongous. So that's always been a priority for me ever since I've broken out of college for coaching.
How about the way you organize it with each coach having their own special assignment? Is that unique, or?
It's pretty unique. I think most people have special team coordinators, or else the offensive coordinator takes it on his side of the ball, the defensive coordinator takes it on his side of the ball, and they give it to somebody to do. And but here's normally what happens in terms of organization at college levels. And just so let's say you pick a team, major college, doesn't matter, pick a team, and the special team coordinator is probably a position coach too. And unless the staff is so organized that like every minute the staff is, this is the way we're organized, by the way, our guys know exactly when we're meeting and recruiting, exactly when the offense and defense is meeting, exactly when special teams are meeting, exactly when they're meeting with me, et cetera. They know that at the beginning of the week, as far as the coaches go. So most of the time, you're a position coach, you're kind of at the beck and call. Let's say I'm a defensive line coach. I'm at the beck and call of the defensive coordinator. I got to be in those meetings. Now, in the meantime, there's 6 units that I got to make sure I'm prepared, or at least 4 units that are prepared, ready to go. I'm probably doing that at midnight on Monday and Tuesday. So I got to come in earlier, I got to stay later, I got to affect a tremendous amount of responsibility. I never felt that work. I thought it was unfair to the coach. I don't think it works. So if special teams are really, really important, then then you take, and everybody's got another job to do. You take each one of the 6 units, and you have somebody specifically responsible for that. Now, he then gets 5 full-time assistants. He gets the unit coordinators that are responsible for the other units that in effect work for that guy. So you have a unit coordinator that has 1 job, plus his position job, but 1 special team job with 5 full-time assistants, the other coaches. And then the other coaches are going to do a great job for him because they're going to need him to do a great job as an assistant for them in terms of the units. So I've always thought just organizing in a way that's practical and makes sense. And then I expect excellence then out of each of the unit coordinators. I expect them on top of their stuff. We meet the special teams guys, unit coordinators, pretty often. I expect them on top of their stuff. I expect game plans. I expect real thoughtful stuff. And certainly all that's paying off now.